I'm going to be honest, I'm not inspired by many celebrities at all. But Denzel Washington, baby, ooh, he is inspiring. Listen to this.
First of all, in any and everything I say, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in God's sight. I know that you're preached to all the time by your coach, but I can honestly tell you, as a man of God who's been through every machination of faith, from faith to effort, not effort, F-it. You know, I rejected God. I hated God. I loved God. I appreciated God. I've had no patience with God, and God has had nothing but patience with me. That's why they call it grace. As I've said many times when I speak to people or in different quotes, I say you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take it with you. The three words I wrote down this morning was platform, purpose, and potential. We all have different platforms. Some will be stars, some will never be stars. We all have a purpose in our life. Without foundation, you know, there's an old saying: unless you go for something, you'll go for anything. Unless you go for God, unless you have that deep root. Here, let me read this. I read this today, talking about a deep root. There's a book I read, Words of Jesus for Men. Y'all can look it up. And today it said, the rocky places of the heart. Others, like seeds sown on rocky places, hear the word and at once receive it with joy. But since they have no root, they only last a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. A good example of a rocky heart is one that is focused on comfort. Football players. Everything must go. Let me read it again. A good example of a rocky heart is one that is focused on comfort. Everything must go according to plan. Those who can't talk about those who can. They're not going to love you. This world's not going to love you. They're not going to cheer for you. I don't know what your chosen profession is going to be, but you all have that God-given ability to be great. Now, let me go back to what I said initially. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse, which means you can't take it with you. On the last day of your life, and God knows I'm worth hundreds of millions of dollars, on the last day of my life, I can't take it with me. But I can leave it here. And I'm not just talking about money. You can be influential in whatever your chosen field. You have a platform now. You'll have a platform then. You have a purpose now. You'll have a purpose then. You have potential now. Each and every one of you. You are powerful right now. So what are you going to leave here? What is your gift? What will you share? Okay, let me tell y'all something. I had C grade or less because I didn't have direction. I started off in biology. I figured I'd want to be a doctor. I don't know. I go to college. Okay, I'll be a doctor. That didn't work out so good. As they say in the commercial, I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV. I actually did play one on TV. Then I wanted to be a lawyer. So I studied political science. I moved on from that. Then I went to journalism. I said, well, I'll be a writer. Then I found my way, in my junior year of college, I found my way to acting. I never wanted to be an actor. I never thought about acting. I didn't know any actors. But I found out very quickly that was my God-given ability. And I found out over this 40, 50-year career that it was my God-given purpose. God did not put me on this planet to act. God put me on this planet to preach. Wait a minute. See if I can find this. In March 27th, 1975, I had flunked out of college. I had flunked out of college, and I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor. My mother owned a beauty parlor, a beauty shop, and a woman was sitting under the dryer, and every time I looked up, she was looking at me. And granted, now this is before I had flunked out of college. I tried medicine and tried biology. She said, "Young man, you're going to travel the world and preach to millions of people." Wow. And I was like, huh? She said, "You're going to travel the world and preach to millions of people." Now, I don't know if you can see this. Can you read that? Can y'all see that? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, on the top there, it says prophecy. She couldn't even spell it right. This piece of paper is 50 years old. Then underneath it, when my mother wrote my name, it was like on an old envelope. It's so old that the name fell off. Then underneath it, I wrote the date, which was March 27, 1975. Now, for some reason, she wrote 28. You can see 28 there on the top? Can you see it? Say yes if you can see it. Okay. I don't know if she wrote 28 because she thought it was my birthday, or if she wrote 28 because it was the 28th. But I wrote March 27th. Well, I'm born on the 28th. My wife's born on the 28th. My oldest son's born on the 28th. Now, I don't know if that's coincidence, but my point is this. She didn't say you're going to be famous. She didn't say I was going to win an Oscar. She didn't say any of that. She said, and she was known to be a prophet, she said that I was going to travel the world and preach to millions of people. And now, 50 years later, I get the opportunity with the University of Colorado football team. So really, I'm practicing with y'all. I'm not preaching to you or at you. I'm sharing my experience with you. You can't take it with you, but you could leave it here. Love, you can leave here. Grace, you can leave here. Science, health that you share with others. What you do for others is much more important than what you do for yourself. Sharing, giving, loving, being patient is the most important gift that you have. I'll say it again. It's the most important gift that you have. What you do for others in a society that only wants to be seen. Look at me, Instagram me, FaceTime me. How many followers do I have? That pronoun, unfortunately, we have landed it in your lap as young men and women. I, me, look at me. How much can I get? I'm willing to do anything to be seen. Now, I'm not asking you to do what I do, but I don't even have Instagram. I don't have Facebook. I don't have TikTok. I don't have any of that. But one thing we both have in common, you and I, and that's potential. One thing we have in common is purpose. One thing we all have in common is a platform. And one thing we all have in common is God-given ability. Use it, share it, appreciate it, understand it. You don't have to know now, but understand you were put on this planet for a purpose. Each and every one of you. Some things some of your potential will be realized by your children. If you haven't helped, there's no hope. If you haven't helped, there's no hope. What an opportunity. Even on your worst day, it's an opportunity to have a better day tomorrow. I call that, I'm 70 years old now. I'll take the hat off, you know. I'm not here to tell you what you need to believe in. But I can tell you, if you don't believe in something, you'll fall for anything. It's hard enough when you believe. I had one foot in the streets. The only reason I'm not talking to you from the penitentiary is by the grace of God. My 3 closest friends did about 100 years. One did about 40. He just got out. The other 2 are dead. And only by the grace of God, I didn't go. I did what they did. I shot dope when I was 13 years old. I sold dope, sold reefer, sold heroin, sold cocaine. I was shooting dope at 13 years old, but it wasn't God's plan for me. So we all fall short of the glory. I ain't got no fairy tale life to tell you about, but I ain't no killer, but I grew up with killers. I've seen people killed. I was with a couple of them the night they got killed. That's life. That's just the way it is. Next question.
Wow, Denzel went hard there, telling these kids and us about the brutal realities of the
Grace. The devil had me by the ankles. He's like, I could get this one. I could get him. God said, no, he's one of mine. Yeah, he gonna fall. Yeah, he gonna. I'll tell you a story. This is a true story. Now this is gonna get out, but I don't care. This is how much God blessed me. The one time that I shot dope in my arm, I was in private school, and we were in the bathroom, and the guy was showing me how, and the headmaster of the school came in, and literally the needle was dangling in my arm, and we could hear him, and we said, if he come in here, I know if he come in here, it's over for me. And he didn't come in, and we finished doing what we were doing. My point being, that was the grace and protection of God even then. At 13, I didn't know what I was doing. I was following those that were the example for me, and that's what they were doing. We all want to be like the cool guy. So it's been a 70-year journey with the Lord. I was filled with the Holy Spirit in the 80s, and I still wanted to go party. I still wanted to chase women and do all of those kind of things. I don't do any of those things now. You get old enough, hopefully you get wiser. But wherever you are in your walk, it's not a competition. There's nobody closer to God than the next person. Your individual path is your individual path. And it's okay to talk to God like you talking to your father, like, look, man, what's this about? Why am I breaking my leg now? Talk to me. I talk to God like that. Here's the thing I would say to each and every one of you. Get up in the morning and be quiet. Put your feet on the floor. Try to take 2 minutes and just be quiet. Breathe. Listen. It's hard because your mind starts going to what you got to do that day, and why didn't I make that play, and am I going to make it, and why don't she like me, and how am I going to get her, and all of that stuff. It's something else for you. When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
So I got this footage from a YouTube page called Make Faith Famous, which is a cute name, really empowering name. Go follow him. But why I was so inspired by this footage with Denzel Washington talking to this football team is because, he don't have to give back. He don't have to. He has aspired and accomplished everything that so many people are still trying to accomplish to this day. He's got faith. He's got fame. He's got fortune. He's got a name. But it helps me understand why I write books. Most of my books won't really touch a whole lot of lives until I'm dead and gone. But I'm okay with that. That's why I write. Books changed my life. It helped me to understand exactly what he's saying in this video, that we all have potential. That's what I talk about. A lot of you, I've given my books, but if you actually read them, you see that I am really doing what God put me here for. My purpose is to uplift, motivate, and encourage, and myself and other people, to teach people that they got to start with themselves first. If you're doing no good mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you can't help anybody else. It teaches us to realize that we are limitless beings. We have an extraordinary amount of potential, untapped potential. So I just wanted to share that because I was just blown away. I listened to it 3 times because, we don't really get to see that side of Denzel. I think we all kind of could feel his spirit and tell that he was a good person, but this was phenomenal. And he's still sexy as hell. I'm just saying, Denzel, any day.